I was talking with, Chris Richardson, former consular officer as well. He was saying sometimes if you have an interview and you're worried, contact the congressional rep beforehand, before the interview, so that they could send a notice to the embassy, and so that kind of that file is flagged. What has been your experience with congressmen getting involved? Is it more annoying for the embassy that the staff officers get that, or is it just depends on the situation?
So it really depends. So just to use an example in Mexico, where I was working in Matamoros. Depending on the size of the mission or the consulate, you may have like one consular officer and a few consular section staff. And that's it for perhaps the country. And so when a congressional inquiry comes in, it's usually handled by the consular officer in that case. For many other consulates, they're much larger operations, and so they will set up correspondence units, and they're a little bit removed from the normal adjudications of visas. And so it's neither viewed as, I think, a help or hindrance necessarily from the consular officer perspective. But again, if it's a larger operation, it may be that the officer who made the decision, his role in responding to the congressional inquiry is just responding to the congressional unit, which then prepares the response, and there may be a back and forth with the congressional unit. But there may be actually very little interaction with the consular officer. Typically, what helps most with the congressional inquiries is if there is some sort of either a very clear-cut legal issue or some sort of humanitarian angle to the inquiry, something that people will realize, okay, well, yes, this may be a correct decision legally and factually, but when you consider all these other circumstances, which the applicant didn't get a chance to talk about in their few minutes before the consular officer, there may be something else going on, which justifies taking a deeper look in the case, which doesn't necessarily mean that another officer will make a different decision, but it certainly is possible.